Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of a Designer podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest in graphic design news from around the web. My name is Adam. I'm a designer from the San Francisco Bay Area. I specialize in visual, UI design with a little bit of illustration. I like to give companies character. And every day I'm joined by my co-host, Terry. How's it going, Terry?
Hey, it's going great, Adam. As Adam said, my name is Terry, and I'm a UX UI designer for the Bay Area, and I help bridge the gap between products and their end users.
Awesome. And we have a special guest today, right?
Yes, we do, which I'm so excited. I would love to introduce her. Her name is Christine, and we all need one of these. I know I personally do, but Christine is a personal finance coach. And not only that, but she's an IRS Enrolled Agent, and she helps working professionals like Adam and I and everybody else in the world to get their finances in order. And her quote is, live a life they love without money being a stress. So Christine, could you introduce yourself a little bit more and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Terry. For being, letting me be your guest at your show. So, I I've been doing personal financial coaching since September 2016. So I was like, among a lot of other people, like were struggling with, oh, what career do I want to do? Like I was just, I tried to change jobs, try to change company. I just wasn't happy, but I've always loved money. I've always loved personal finance specifically. I've always loved everything to do with personal finance, like, figuring stuff out, how to budget, about taxes and everything. So I was working with a life coach back in 2016, and then she kind of encouraged me, why don't you try to do this on the side? But I never thought I could make money out of it. So I just started doing it as a side business. I was still working full time, and I remember I was already working at Visa at the time. So I still kept my full-time job, and then I did it at nights and weekends. I started as a hobby. So, not really a hobby. I started as a free service for my friends and family. I said, maybe I did 5 free and ask for a review if they appreciate my work. So I started having review on Yelp, and then people start finding me. So I think I got my first official client in September. I started that in August, like for free. I got my first official client in September, and then it's just been slowly growing. Like people start finding me. So I probably have a couple of clients here and there. So that's September 2016. And I didn't quit my corporate job till May of last year. So I did it for 2.5 years, building my business on the side. And then finally I said, because I tried to switch from data analytics to corporate finance, it's corporate FP&A, financial planning and analysis. I thought, okay, maybe if I was in corporate finance, I can handle being in corporate, because I wasn't ready to give up the steady paycheck yet. So I couldn't quit yet. I just wasn't ready for it. So, okay, let me try corporate finance. So I did stay with corporate finance for a year, but then my heart wasn't just in it. I mean, I love learning something new. It's a new career. It was an internal transfer within Visa, but it's just different, personal finance and corporate finance. I just felt I didn't really make a huge difference in the $1 billion, a big company like Visa. So I finally took the leap in May of last year, and then I gave a 1-month notice, and then I made sure I had an exit plan, like make sure I have 1 year worth of living expenses. I made sure of, that I have my business set up correctly. I changed my pricing structure. So I did a lot of things first before just quitting my job. So, but yeah, May 3rd was my official first day or last day at corporate, and it's been good. I mean, it's been a great 1 year. So I'm really blessed. And then I think I found my dream job, I guess you can say. And then I see myself doing this for a long, long time.
So that's awesome. That's you finally did it, right? You did I don't know. My dream is to finally just eventually go out on your own and start something new from scratch. What sort of hurdles did you kind of come into, like just start going out on your own?
The hurdles, I think the first big thing, of course, is the financial aspect because, like,
Mhm.
I mean, business is not a business unless you make money, right? Otherwise, it's just a hobby. So that is really the number one thing. Like, you're not in business unless you make money. It has to be profitable. So that was really my number one concern because I was like, am I making enough money? I mean, I was making some money, but it wasn't enough to make a living out of. So that's why I was really terrified to take the leap. Like, that's why it took me probably a month to decide, and then I gave a month notice. But during the 1 month of deciding, I talked to business coaches, I talked to a lot of friends. Yeah, of course I got half of people saying, no, don't do that, that's stupid, whatever. Like one friend was saying, what are you doing? Like, I quit my job and then for a year I had to go back to corporate anyway. So don't do it. Don't be like me. And then another one's like, no, don't give up such a great job at Visa. What are you doing? So those are like the naysayers. I think they're mostly talking from their fears. People, when they give you
Mhm.
advice, it's always coming from their fears. So of course you just have to listen to it with a grain of salt. And then I also heard other people who's always like, yeah, no, pursue your passion. They love what they do. They were happy to quit their job and then doing what they love. Some of them became a nomad. I do still dream of being a nomad because as a
Yeah.
coach, I can pretty much do remote work anywhere. So I can live anywhere in the world. I just have to look at the time zone. So that's also been my dream. I think one day I hope to be able to do that. So like 1 month stay in one country, just jump around. So yeah, so I talked to some business coaches. So they told me, yeah, you cannot sell any more one-off session, like pay per session stuff, because I used to do that. Because like, you won't make a living. It's harder for you to be profitable. So I
Mhm.
changed it to just selling packages. So I still have one-off session, but it's slightly more expensive if they really insist on doing that. But they have a 4 session and 8 session. So most people buy the 4 session, but then there's some who do the 8 session. So that's kind of made it a little easier. So then I only need maybe 4 or 5 clients a month, which I've been pretty good at being able to sign up 4 to 5 clients a month. And yeah, that was May. May was my first month last year, and then I've been profitable since, except for July of last year when it was summer and then nobody wants to buy, right? But then now I think with
Yeah.
the coronavirus, people might be staying home, so it might not be as slow as last year.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. And I think you kind of touched this, but can you touch on this a little bit? So when you had a full-time job, and and you mentioned about like naysayers, and then you had positive people, but overall, how did you actually start of your business? I mean, was there like certain tips or like programs, or did you research? Or if anybody's out there, they want to do like a side project or maybe start
Mhm.
of a business. So what kind of tips would you give them?
Yeah, so first of all, figure out your motivation. Why do you want a side business? So some people, they want a side business because they hate their job, right? They want to quit corporate. So that's one. Most reasons are always fall into that. And then the second one, they just want to have extra income, so they might not necessarily like it. So I would rather people do the side business because they're trying out something they're passionate about. So that way it's kind of gradual that they're going to go there being their own boss, because I'm all for people pursuing what they love and being their own boss. So you run your own show, because I love running my show. I love having my own schedule. I
Mhm.
just love everything about it. I can take a day off if I want to. Like, I don't have to ask for approval from anyone. Like, I can fire a client if I don't want to. I can change my policy, my compliance, and everything. Just everything about it is just so awesome. I just love being an entrepreneur. So yeah, I mean, so I would hope it's because they're passionate about it, so they want to do a trial run. Because first of all, you can't just like, oh, I'm passionate about it, I'm gonna make a lot of money of it. Like, you don't know how the market's gonna like it. So first of all, you do it as a side, but in the meantime, you want to have a full-time job. So I would not recommend someone to just quit their job unless you have a lot of money in the bank for some reason. You're a trust fund baby or whatever. But for most average people, you want to have your job so you're not like in a rush to try it out. So you do that night and weekend, you build it up. So what are you offering? What's your business? So try it out, try different things, and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of working out. People are actually buying my products. So you have the luxury of time to see if there's a market for it and then people wanting to buy it. And then you can try out different things here and there without, worrying so much about your finances because you still have your steady paycheck. So that will be my main advice for everybody if they want to have a side business.
That's awesome. And earlier, you did talk about, of your whole like leap of faith, right?
Yep.
So can you tell us, so what was that one moment in time that you're like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm really, really going to do it.
So last year, yes, the leap of faith to actually quit my job, if that's what you mean. So I think I think it was just a lot of corporate changes because I just feel like if you're in any corporate, there's always a restructure, reorg, and I don't know, Terry, if you've been long enough at where you're at to experience some reorg. But when I was at the company like at least 3 years, so I went through 2 reorg. So I switched job to corporate finance, and then I think a year later there was a reorg. My favorite boss left, and then after he left, I probably switched with 2 or 3 managers after him. So it was a little like, I don't know, it just made me feel like I'm not safe or secure because each time you have to like, get on the vibe with the manager again, get to know them, and then it's just like, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I think that started to trigger me wanting to, just like, I'm done. I don't want to have to go through this again because at the end of the day, I was pleasing a boss, and then the boss is pleasing their boss, and then the boss and blah blah blah, and then and even the CEO is about pleasing the whatever, board of directors, and board of directors about pleasing the stockholders, and I'm like, I was just tired of it. I just said, you know what, at least I want to give it a shot for 1 full year. If I fail, the worst case scenario is that I go back to corporate. But luckily, I don't have to do that anymore. But I had to go through all the worst case scenario as well. So yeah, I think that was my main thing. All the reorg and just stuff like you have no control over. You're the mercy of what corporate does to you. You're just a little person, right? You can't choose your boss. You can't choose or you can't choose you're the mercy of that. You want the job, you just have to say yes. Yeah.
Got it. And so when you actually started your business and take that leap, and within of your first months, how did you handle adversity and maybe doubts on day to day? Because I know when you start something new, you're waiting for that. Oh, did I get something in the email? Oh, did I get something in the email or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Luckily, I think because I built it up for 2.5 years, I think I built enough traction, enough presence, and I have enough reviews on Yelp that a lot of my clients, most of them actually come from Yelp. So I don't really have a shortage there. So I think I was just trying to figure out, I wanted to have more referral sources besides Yelp. So that's why I hired a coach to teach me LinkedIn. And that was a good investment because then now I have a presence on LinkedIn, and then I'm starting to get, clients and prospects from LinkedIn. So I think my doubts, no, not really. I was really surprised, May did really well. And I don't know if you guys, I'm a spiritual person, and I believe in the law of attraction. I was reading this book, The Universe Has Your Back. And I really believe in the law of attraction. So it's about you have to have this vibe that you will attract, and then, focus on serving, and then make sure that, so I just shifted my mindset into just not worrying so much, and then having that vibe that will attract that people to come to you. And then surprisingly, May actually became a really, really good month. So I think that for me, that was a sign, I'm like, oh yeah, I did the right thing. So, and then I think after that, then I started working on my other stuff. I wanted to get my enrolled agent because then I want to do tax preparation. So that was a good supplement for my business. Now, this past 2 months, I've had some tax preparation, so I have some clients already from there. So I'm still learning a lot of tax because it's my first year, but at least, it's slowly growing. And I'm also working actually seasonally for Intuit TurboTax Live. Like if you call TurboTax, like you want to talk to a live person, like I'm one of the people you'll see on the other end.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
funny.
you hear it first. We have our Intuit right here. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just did to also get experience. That's more seasonally, and they're very flexible with your schedule. So you pretty much, pick your time, whatever time. Their hours is pretty long, like 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m. or something. So you pick any time between that, whatever hours, minimum 20 hours, and then it's remote. It's at the luxury of my home office we work from. So it's very, very cool. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And then, um, I think you already mentioned this earlier. From your, so what's your approach during marketing of your business? But you mentioned earlier that you hired a LinkedIn coach to
Yeah.
help you strategize with that. And then I'm just wondering, so where did you find that person? Did you find that person on LinkedIn, or did you find that person on Yelp?
On Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook. Oh, well, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. So no, she helped me mostly with my branding, but I think end of the day, like my presence, it had more a lot to do with how much work I put in, because she had other
Got it.
clients that didn't grow as fast as me, but then I really took to heart all her homework. Like I really did. I was spending like at least 2 hours on LinkedIn every day. And then so I learned a lot of things on my own as well. Because like I think Terry, I don't know when we met, but then when I started in September, I had 3,000 followers. Now I'm almost 35,000 followers. So that was
Wow.
Wow,
yeah, that
that's
was back in
awesome.
September. Yeah. So I work a lot on it, and then I'm always there. As you can see, I was posting every day, but kind of I'm slowing down with the posting. I do posting every other day now because I don't want to spend so much time there, but I still spend time there. It's just that not as much as I used to, because now I have my presence there, but it's more like so I can just continue making sure that people know I'm alive. I'm still posting about money stuff and other stuff, and then so that way I can just be on their mind. If they think about finances, then they know to reach out to me.
Nice. And then basically, since I know Adam can agree with me, a lot of visual designers or just a lot of creative people, we don't think about finances. I know I'm guilty of that all the time. So we have several freelancers or corporate people or designers. They might want to start their side business. So what tips do you have for them if somebody doesn't know where to start with like finance at all? If they want to start a side project or they want to do like you were saying before, become like a nomad or whatnot.
Well, I think first of all, so if it's a side business, then it will be part of the same tax return, the 1040 individual tax return. What that means is going to be part of your personal budget, personal finance. So the first thing I would advise anyone is to have a budget. Make sure you have your finances in order, because then when you start the business, so you're going to have another tab tracking for just the business portion or side business, but eventually it will flow to your personal. So what I do, like, I mean, everything's in my personal as well. Like I kind of flag it if it's business related, any income expenses, but at the same time, I have another tab wherein like it tracks all the income, just business income and expenses. So the two tabs is like, the one personal overall, one is just the business. So I mean, end of the day, yes, you want to have a good tracking system. You want to know all your ins and outs, because end of the day, you want to see, are you profitable? Okay, because if all your expenses, I mean, granted, maybe the first year you're not gonna make so much money. It's okay to have a loss, but you want to see a trend is gonna go up, because I know one of the things people make a mistake and say, oh, I'm gonna launch a business, so I'm gonna spend. So I'm not like that. When I spend, I make sure that I make more than what I spend. So I'm not I don't think like I'm gonna spend a lot and then a lot. So I kind of tailor that. So maybe once in a while, maybe I end up spending $2,000 or $1,500 for a course or a coach, but then I know I'm gonna make up for it. So I'm not gonna spend more unless I made up for that one. So I kind of tailor that. So you want to manage that and then just don't get so overexcited, because I know friends who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna invest on marketing, I'm gonna invest on this, I'm gonna invest on that, and I'm gonna pay for this, I'm gonna hire a VA, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, no. It's like, then I'm like, okay, how are you running your business now? It's like, oh yeah, on business loan. And then I'm like, okay, I don't know how sustainable that would be. So I would not advise that from anyone. I would suggest like tailor your finances, manage it so you're not overspending. It's okay to invest, but you always want to see how it's going. Like, you, at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're making money.
Okay. Any more tips on the opposite, like how to save money?
Yeah, so again, it's about having a tracking system budget. So it can be anything. Like if you're a pen and paper person, like I know artistic people like you guys might be more like about writing. So it really depends. That you have to figure out what your style is. So I have a friend, like, she just write in a notepad, pen and paper, all her ins and outs. So that's how she does her budget. It works for her. Great. So if spreadsheet works for you, use spreadsheet. Google Sheet works for you, use Google Sheet. Or mint.com, or there's an app called YNAB. You need a budget. So that's what it stands for, YNAB. I know it's a funny name, right? And there's another one by Dave Ramsey called Every Dollar. So I'm not a fan of applications. So I just use Excel spreadsheet. I'm an Excel geek. So I love Excel. I do all my retirement modeling in Excel. That's one of the reasons how I was confident in quitting my job too, is because I had a retirement model. So basically what it meant, I did my model based on like, what if I'm not profitable from now till I'm 70? And 70 is the time when I'll say I officially retire, meaning I'll probably have one or two more clients. I'll start to slow down, but that is my retirement model plan. No profit from now till 70. 70 is when I start to withdraw money. So from now till then, no deposit or no withdrawal. Am I still okay? So from 70 to 90, I'm expecting to live only until 90. So that's me. I don't think I want to be in my dead bed, and like, I think I'll just do assisted suicide if I'm going to be in my dead bed. But anyway, so I expect that my life 70 till 90. So 20 years. So will that be okay? So based on my modeling, I'm still okay. But I know with the coronavirus, things might change. So that's why I do have to visit my model, like, every couple of months and stuff like that to adjust. But my model was all based on conservative rate of return, and then I overestimate my expenses. So it's a very conservative model. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, to answer your question, just at the end of the day, I couldn't stress this enough. It's about budgeting and just keeping track, because I want to think of it like, I know some people say budgeting is there's a negative connotation there, but it really boils down to what is your relationship with money. Okay, so if I have to ask you this, how is your relationship to money? Like, for example, like, I'm watching this documentary called My 600-Pound Life on Hulu. So you find like all these weird TV shows now that you're home, right? So so this actually is a documentary of obese people, like they're 600 pounds. So they go through their life. They did a documentary of an entire year. And then all of them have this weird relationship with food. So like, they have to explore that. They have to go to therapy. How is their relationship with food? They have to heal that. So it's the same thing with money. If people have a hard time budgeting or whatever, it's usually because they don't have a good relationship with money. So part of my work as a coach, we explore that. How was your relationship with money? How did you grow up around money? What were you being taught around money? What are all your money scripts? What has your parents taught you? Like, is like rich people are evil, money's evil, blah, blah, you can't be rich. Like, for example, like I did a post on LinkedIn, a video. I was saying the money mantra, like, I love money, money loves me. So there was some backslash, like some religious people say, no, the Bible say you can't love money, money's evil. So I said, but then I'm like, you didn't read my entire post. My post was saying that love money and money loves you, so that way you will attract the money. Because like, if you don't love something, it's hard for you to attract something you don't love. It's hard for you to attract. For example, if you think rich people are evil, how can you want to be something that you think is evil? So I'm all for people wanting to be rich, because like if good people become rich, you know what they'll do with the money? They'll do it for more good causes. So it's really the person, and that makes, either makes money evil or good, because then evil people is going to use money for evil, right? So money is just a tool. So yeah.
That is really interesting. And you even said, I think maybe 20 minutes ago, everything is about mindset. And and you're not the only one that actually said that. We had other guests on here, is like, if you want to do something, or like if you have a goal, it's all about the mindset.
Yep.
And you're totally right about looking at that certain item. It could be money, it could be learning a new language, or actually taking that leap to becoming of a career changer, to get into UX UI. It's all about that relationship of what you look at. And then also too, you mentioned about of the mindset. And then also I was wondering, do you have any articles for designers who can help them get them kick-started in the money, to actually love money and to love themselves about the relationship of money?
Yes, so I don't have a specific article for designers, but I do, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I do post a lot about money mindset. So what I would recommend people, they want to dig into that, is that, just follow me on LinkedIn, Christine Tay, T-E-H, and then just connect with me or follow me. I accept everybody who tries to connect with me, and then they just follow my hashtag, like hashtag Tay Financial Coaching, T-E-H Financial Coaching, which is my website too, but I also create a hashtag on that. Then you can easily browse through the content. So I have videos, and I mean, my posts range, most of them range on money mindset, anything finance related, but sometimes I do inspirational stuff or dog related stuff because I have dogs, but then you can kind of see, and then I mean, if they can connect, I do give a lot of good tips here and there about how to think about money, how to trade, because then whatever that's applicable for designers is also applicable for pretty much anybody when it comes to building the relationship with money.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what were some of your mistakes that basically you've seen in your industry of just maybe starting a business, or even starting a business?
So the mistake really is because people think, oh yeah, I'm gonna make so much money, I'm gonna quit. So I know personally some friends did that because they're like, I'm gonna just take the leap of faith, whatever, but with no exit strategy. So I would not recommend that people be smart, have a good exit strategy, make sure your finances are in order, your business is taking off. Because one of my friends, I mean, she's more like very I don't know how to call that word, but more like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just quit my job, I'm gonna be a coach. And then she had like never tried that, never experienced that, so she went into it. And then, oh yeah, this is one mistake people do. Like, so with coaching, I can only talk about coaching specifically. Like 80% of what makes our business successful is working on the business. That will be marketing, sales, customer service, everything else. Like 20%, 10 to 20% is client facing. So you don't have a lot of time actually on client facing. I mean, if I look at to be profitable for me, like I don't need a lot of hours per week on client facing. The time really to make your business work profitable is working on the business, the marketing. Me on LinkedIn is me replying to emails, me following up, me learning about taxes, researching, and then it's all of that, and then trying to improve my process, making sure everything's well. So 80% of that. And then my friend, like she doesn't want to do any of that. She's like, oh, I just want to do sessions.
I just want the money. Yeah.
I want to do session with my client. The people will just come to me, and then I'm like, nobody's gonna come to you. You have to market. If you don't market, you don't make sale. If you don't make sale, you have no money. No money means no business. So you have to be able to market effectively. You have to know that. Like me, I have no marketing background, no sales background. I have to learn all of that on my own. Like I have to learn how to be out there. You have to be comfortable being out there. You have to be comfortable to be on social media. And some people are not comfortable. Like they don't have motivated. They're like, yeah, that's not my style, whatever. So you know, then you have to figure out what will work for you. And then person to person networking, I mean, like coronavirus, that's definitely not gonna work anymore, right? But for some people, they're still into person to person networking still. Like for example, the Chamber of Commerce here, right? Like you go there, but they're more into, almost everybody is like, they think person to person is the only way to work. They don't look at the social media. I think probably only one or two knew about social media and Chamber of Commerce. That's why I didn't end up signing up for them, because I'm on social media, I'm at home, and the world is your oyster with social media. You know, if you know how to market, it's all about having all that presence, then you have the entire world to be able to see you. So you have to know how to utilize social media. And then, so that's just one part of it. Marketing is a big part of a successful business. You know, marketing, then you can funnel them. Then, because like you have to prospect, so you have to talk to them. Not everybody you talk to is gonna sign up. Then for people sign up, so it becomes like this. So then that's the part when it's a lot of work. Then you have to do the customer service, and you have to make sure that they're happy. So yeah, it's 80% of that. Yep.
Oh, that's really great. And then that's how actually I met Christine is through LinkedIn, because I was reading through my feed and she said something about financial that really caught my eye, and I was like, got a messenger. Bam! She was right there, less than like 10-15 seconds.
Yep,
That sounds like
I'm
good
always,
customer service. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes. I'm very fast with everything, texting, emailing, and then messaging. So I feel like that's a big part of giving good customer service. I'm actually working with a life coach now. I also met her on LinkedIn. So she's very fast. I just love her passion. Like she's like, oh yeah, whatever I sign up for is like unlimited texting, unlimited email, whatever. She said she just want to make sure that I make the changes or transformation I sign up for. So she's very committed. Like me, I'm very committed to my work. I love my work. I'm so passionate about it. Like I don't know. Like people always say to niche down, but for me, I actually don't want to niche down, because like for me, I like working with different problems. Like for people who niche on only working mom, or only female, only male, or only young people, like like I see the value in that. Then you become very, very good at niching and then the problem. But I like having different people. I like the older one, younger one, men, women coming to me, and then you see different issues they have. And then every time it's just challenging for me. I was like, oh wow, that's a new problem I have to work on. So it never gets boring. Like there's always new things to talk about. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, Adam, do you have any more insights or questions?
Well, I had one insight that I thought was interesting. In the beginning, how you mentioned, well, I also, I did the opposite of your advice. I quit cold turkey, a job, and I went contract, and I started going freelance. But luckily, you know, before I quit, I kind of did the math of figuring out that, okay, I'll be okay for a couple months without a job. So I can go and try out contracting. And then I also decided to go start a business doing freelance design. And the funny thing is, like, pretty much what you said was what happened to me as well, where it's like, you mentioned that it was reassuring to say that even you going on your own, you were pretty scared. And I'm like, and you do finance. And like me, I'm like, I don't know the first thing about finance. That's always the scary part. So that scared me a lot to try to figure out. And you also mentioned how you don't do single sessions anymore with people. And I kind of noticed that too when I was trying freelancing on the side, is that I could only scale so much. There's only so many days time of day for me. So I couldn't really take on more clients because I was too busy on the one that I had, and that would take up like a whole week. And, so it was a tough balance between how much time can I give to this client versus how much I'm asking for, to get paid, and so that, I just wanted to mention how that was pretty relatable, all that with me. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And my question would be, you say you like to be a generalist, right? Do you find it kind of a challenge when you have to deal with finances from across different states, across, sometimes, like I said, since you have to deal with taxes, I figured a core of it is the same, but maybe like 5 or 10% of it is a little different because, you're dealing with that individual state, or, is that how it works?
So first, before I answer that, I want to get back to what you just said. So I know you're talking about like it's hard to scale. So yeah, with the finances, so what I would recommend anybody, whether designer or whatever. So if you're gonna try to price it, so you want to price it like how many hours does it really take you? So for example, I have my 4 session package. So how much work do I do outside of that session? So let's say I do maybe 2 or 3 more hours because I have to read or prep or whatever. So just add that up, the total 4 plus 3 hours, so 7 hours. So the package, let's say, I don't know, $1,500. So divide by 7 hours. So is that good enough? So you have to know what is the minimum hourly rate you're willing to settle for. Okay, because then you have to remember, like we charge a little bit more because then, we can't fill up all 40 hours with client session, right? Because everything else you have to market and stuff like that. That's why when I'm telling you, like, for me to be profitable in a whole week, like for example, I'm looking at my calendar this whole week, I probably have 5 sessions, face to face, 5, it range from 5 to 10 sessions face to face, and then the other stuff are more like prospect talk and stuff. So you can see it doesn't really consume a lot of my time on my calendar. So and then I like that, I don't need a lot to be profitable, and then like I can still do a lot of other stuff. I still need to do other stuff for my marketing and stuff. So you just have to calculate what is really your hourly rate, and then like do like, a package, and then like how many do you need per month to be profitable, and is that doable? If that's doable, then yeah, you can probably make a living out of that. Yeah. So, and then sorry, I forgot the last question. Sorry.
Just if it's if there are challenges dealing with like different states and
okay, sorry, okay, now I remember that. Yeah, so I'm an enrolled agent, so basically I can serve anyone in the country. Okay, so I have one client from another country, but because relationship with money, that can be globally, right? But what I find is that a lot of people always like to ask me about investments, about stuff, and then I can't give specific investment advice. I do investment education. So that's why I'm trying to focus my market on just US now. So, I mean, if someone comes to me, they want to just work on money mindset, money behavior, budget. But a lot of people on LinkedIn, like, even their other country, they'll ask me about investments. So I just try not to focus on that anymore. So I think it's easier for me to just focus on US. So, and then we have a lot of people in our country. So I think there's plenty for me to, because like, if I think about like, if I'm going to, let's say, if you just do the math to be profitable, let's say I need 5 clients, right, per month. So 5 times 12, that's 60 clients, new clients in a year. And then let's say I'm gonna do this for 30 more years, right? So it's like 1,800 new clients. Like, what is the fraction of that in the US? I'm talking about to be profitable, to make a living. I only need 1,800 clients for my entire business lifetime.
Oh my goodness, you have that mapped out.
Yeah, so do you see, it is very, very possible, right? So you have to break it out to that math. But let's say you have to charge you have to keep finding one client per session. Let's say if you have one client, you only charge pay per session. How many clients do you need in a month? So that's why it's just not feasible for any business. You have to make a package. It has to be a package. So for me, I'm talking about 5 new clients who buy my package at the minimum of the 4 session package. Then multiply by 12, 1 year, multiply by 30 years, 1,800 clients, new clients. I know some people, like, one of the things, like, people are telling me, how can you make a living? You're always having to find new clients. Like, some people, like the investment advisor, most of them are on retainer because they're an asset under management. So they pretty much have the same clients their entire life. Like, these are the people who would manage $1 million. Like think about 1% $1 million, so they only need only so much, right? So I didn't really like, I mean, I don't like to manage investments. I really hate dealing with managing people's money, because I'm all about, I want to teach my client, like I have this motto, I will teach you how to fish so you can fish yourself. I don't want to do the fishing for you, because I also don't want to feel responsible for your money. I want you to feel responsible with your money. You know what to do with your money, so you don't have to come to me. Like you can fly free as a bird after working with me, right? So yeah, so you can see how feasible that is, right? So basically for the US, I mean, yeah, so when it comes to money, financial coaching, I mean, it's across the board anywhere in the world. Like there's not much difference, because relationship is relationship with money. So it doesn't matter what country you're on, whatever, I can work with anyone on that. So there's no main issue. Tax part, that's the more complicated one. So that's why I'm focusing my growth on that slow and steady. So this year so far on tax, I only have 10 tax clients, and I'm okay with that. I know some full-time tax professionals, they have like hundreds or even 200. Like, I don't know how they even find the time to make sure there's no mistake that's made.
Yeah,
that's like,
that sounds scary, right?
That's a little too much. So I don't want that many. I want it slow and steady, and then the rest, like I'm learning through my TurboTax work, because like we get so many new questions, complicated ones. So I like that. I want all the different aspects. For me, my 10 clients, most of them is in the Bay Area in California. I might have maybe 2 clients outside the state, because they were my financial coaching client and they want me to do their taxes. So I'm doing that too. And then, yeah, different state is going to get complicated, because I have to research, because they're going to have different laws. So as much as possible, I like to have my client just in California. But then if there's some of my financial coaching client from other state want me to do that, that's fine too. But then I want to have time to research. So I want to keep my clients at a minimum right now. So, and then just slowly growing. And I'm sure next year it will probably double or something. But this year I'm okay with where I'm at with the tax clients I have.
Wow, it makes sense. So, I mean, of what you just talked about, it doesn't matter what business you start. It can be graphics or financial or coaching or teaching or whatever it is. You just gave us a very nice detail formula of like how to look at a business, right? You have this X amount and you spread it out for however long, everything like that. So that was a great insight. But I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is it true our tax day has been pushed back now?
Yes. Yep. So originally it was just California. Then the IRS was like, yeah, tax day is till April 15, but you don't have to pay your tax due till July 15. But now they push back, like, the tax day, the filing deadline, plus the penalty, whatever the due date for you to pay if you owe money, to July 15. And I think, I'm not sure if all states have followed, but a lot of states are starting to follow it now. Because I don't have all the updates yet, but there's a site on IRS that shows which state has already, followed suit with IRS. But remember, because each state, they might have their own rules.
Yeah, different.
So it might still be April 15. But I'm still trying to target all my clients to finish on April 15. But at least I kind of push my business like 3 more months as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that means if we haven't turned in all of our paperwork, it's still okay.
Yeah, you have to July 15 to submit your form, e-file and form, because both of you are in California. Yeah, both of you have till July 15.
Wow. That's the first time in tax history, right?
It's first time this COVID has happened. Like it's like crazy. I can't do. Yeah, it's like something from a movie. Like, whatever. Like, is this happening to us? Like, it's almost like the next thing maybe we're gonna have monsters outside driving us zombies. I hope not. Not good.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, let's see. I'm a new designer. I want to go freelance, right? This theoretical designer. Okay, I know to keep a separate account to keep it separate from my work and business. But how do I deal with like the day-to-day finances that come with the designer, that come with doing business, right? Accounts payable, accounts receivable. Like, how do I keep track? How do I learn more about finances when I just want to design, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing though, because like if you want to be a solopreneur, and then you have to learn this. Like for me, like I have to learn marketing, I have to learn sales. So you have to learn this unless you can you have the money to hire out a CFO. But most of us, like, we have to do this on our own. So like, for example, my friend, right, she just want to do the coaching. It seems like she just want to pay someone to just, hey, you do the marketing and sales, but you can't afford it. I think that the best thing for anyone to start a business, like, you learn everything, because then once you grow, let's say you do grow, you start to hire out different people, contractors, to do other stuff you don't want to do, then you already understand everything, like, because like, as a CEO, you understand the entire picture. That's the best thing, right? But for me, so my goal is that I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy being a small mom and pop shop, because like, everybody want to grow, want to scale. I'm like, no, I'm happy being profitable, like having enough work just for one person for me to handle. I make sure I'm time efficient. I make sure I'm efficient with everything. My process is in place and then it's automated as much as possible. And then something I can handle it. I don't feel overwhelmed. So I'm feeling overwhelmed, then something have to be cut back. Like before, I used to work every day, my office hours daily, even Sunday. So now I'm taking 2 days off, Wednesday and Sunday. I block my calendar because I'm like, I need my me time now, because I have enough clients coming in that I think I can afford the 2 days of me time. And I realize that having sessions or talking to people every day can be draining. Like, I need 2 days when I'm just like, I can do whatever I want. I can be lazy. I can wake up at 11 or something. So it's like, I just need to take care of myself on those days. But yeah, to answer your point, yeah, the finances, yeah, you do need to learn that. So you were talking about the AP, AR, whatever. So for me, my business is very simple. Like, for me to start any work, people have to pay me first. Because the thing is that if you try to chase someone after you finish the work, it's just more stress. So everything has to be paid upfront. It's in my contract that they sign. And then then we start the work. Then you have that you log on how much you receive. And then if you have to pay, I mean, usually you pay whatever expenses, and then like you kind of have to budget too, and then see, okay, can I afford that to pay for the expenses this month or not? So again, it boils down to your budget. You need to have a strong budgeting system. And then that's why for people who's not ready to sign up with me for my coaching, then I did create an online budgeting course. It's on my website, Pay Financial Coaching, work with me. There's a budgeting course. It's only $49. So I show them the system I use for the past 10 years and then what I teach my clients. And I don't teach my clients something that I haven't done yet. So everything I teach my client, I have done myself for the past 10 years. My retirement model, my budgeting, everything. So I love it. So I'm an Excel geek, so everything is mostly in Excel. So I'm sure if you guys are comfortable with that, then it should be easy to pick up. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. I think the hardest part really for any client or anybody trying to get a budget is like mostly the accountability, because like the budgeting tool can only work with people who are very self-motivated. Like, for example, like you're trying to lose weight, right? So if you're not, let's say you're not motivated, you need an accountability partner, which is a personal trainer. Of course, if you can afford a personal trainer, that's best, right? Then they keep pushing you. But if you cannot afford the personal trainer or the coach, then you have to be self-motivated. So the same thing with the tool. You have to be self-motivated to keep doing it, because I always like to compare budgeting with losing weight, because then you cannot just budget and be good for a month. Like, oh yeah, I'm okay. It's like you have to budget forever, because money, you always need money till the day you die, and sometimes even after you die, right? So like my point, same thing with food. You have to eat well till the day you die. So they're very well,
I didn't want to hear that part. Yeah.
so they're very synonymous in a lot of ways. So I think like for a lot of people, I mean, usually when they have problems with budgeting, most of the time they do need a coach to hold them accountable, because my budgeting tool, like any tool, will only work if you're very self-motivated, because it works the same with losing weight. It has to come you have to come from a very self-motivated person. So yeah, so that's why I would always suggest to people, like, if they can afford a coach, and then just go full in, and then just hire a coach, and then they can work with you to hold you accountable with your budgeting. And then usually with my clients, something when they budget, a lot of emotions come up, like they're just like, oh, they don't want to do the budget, like they're just doing it for me, like literally like 30 minutes before my session, oh, that's the time they fill up their budget. I said, no, you're not doing it for me, you're doing it for yourself, because after we finish our sessions, you have to continue doing this. You didn't just like do this to like, oh, show off to a teacher, oh, I did the homework. It's like, no, they have to keep. I always tell them, you have to have a money date. I call it money dates. It's called spending time with money. What is spending time with money is when you put out your pen and paper or whatever, or your spreadsheet, and then you look at your statement, what have you spent so far. So as much as possible, you want to have as many money dates as you want. It's spending time with money, being comfortable with money, being comfortable looking at money. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely need a money day. I do notice too, like, I think a lot of it is just spending the time. Like, I don't, I'm always wishy-washy with keeping track of money. But yeah, but the more you just spend time looking at it, I think the more you'll just are more conscious of it. Maybe that'll make you a better person as a result.
And sometimes, like, a lot of people, they hate looking at it because they don't like what they see. So because then we have to work on that issues together. Sometimes they need a coach to talk with, like, what is coming up for you, and stuff like that. So we work through it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you mentioned that basically on your website, you have a $49 Excel spreadsheet.
It's a budgeting online course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Good.
Okay. And that just helps somebody, maybe like a freelancer who just started their side business.
Anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So basically, it's a course. It has at least 1 hour of content, and then I walk you through from A to Z on how to build the budget to actually maintain the budget. Yeah.
Awesome.
I may look into that myself.
Sure.
Yeah, creating a budget but maintaining it. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, the maintaining part, that will have to be up to you, how self-motivated you are, right? So I can just give you a diet plan, and then like, okay, then you have to be the one to stick to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, do you want to take that course with me?
All right. Yeah, I definitely need a budgeting course.
Yeah, me too. That's why we have her on here, because when I hear about UX, UI, and like job interviewing, and how to get that promotion, but when we get that paycheck, what do we do with it? And I think, that is a conversation that basically we don't really talk about, because within that paycheck, it's like, are you investing in your 401k? So what are you doing with your money to make your money work for you?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's when the budget is. So I like to think of a budget is like, then you have a plan. You're the one in control. You're the master. Okay, I get this, whatever. Let's say $5,000 paycheck a month. What am I going to do with that? So, okay, I want 500 to go to my savings. This one goes to my non-discretionary. This one goes to my food. This one goes to that. So you have to think, you have to change your relationship with what the meaning of budget is. Budget means you're in control of finances. You are the master. Money should be your, like whatever you tell your employee, you tell it what to do. Not the other way around. It's like, oh, I don't know where my money is spent. I have no idea. It's like, okay, I don't know. Am I negative now? So it's like, you're not in control, right? So you don't want that kind of relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Okay. Anybody is listening to this podcast, who's going to join me and Adam on the $49 budget series? I want to hear from you all.
Thank you.
So, okay. Before we wrap it up, here we go. Thank you, Christine, for everything. But as you know, we always have a question at the end of the podcast. Mm-hmm. And this is the question from Nancy B. What happened when you just weren't good enough? So that's a question that basically she is asking. So
Yeah.
I'll repeat it again.
Yep.
What happened when you were just not good enough
Okay.
at maybe a job or self-doubt?
Yep.
So Adam, how would you like to answer that one?
Yeah. So in our industry, right, imposter syndrome is a big thing. Everybody goes through it. There are days where, just even for me, I have good days and bad days. For the bad days, like I it affects me, sure. But what gets me through it is just that I know, you know what, I know I do pretty good work on a regular basis, right? I know that I've studied, and I just have to just go back, and the next day, or eventually it'll get better. I would say, more and more I have less and less bad days, and I could see people getting that where eventually they'll just have better days, and a lot less of those bad days. And so just know that, yeah, it's just a thing that'll happen to all of us. And, the next day you'll be better. And keep in mind too, if you're like the sole designer, you're a lot better than everybody else on your team. So keep that in mind. Right. So they need you they're going to need you regardless. So keep that in mind.
Yes. And Christine, how about you?
Yeah. So this sounds like a very convoluted question, but then like the way I interpret, so it's like I've never really felt I wasn't good enough, because like I knew that when I was doing financial coaching, like I just knew this is my gift, because like from the first time I helped someone, like it just flow. You know that feeling like you're just on fire, like you just like
Mhm.
you feel drained afterwards, and it's a good drain because you put so much of yourself to the work, to the client, because you really love it. So I've never, like, every time, every session I finish, like I always like I just get, a validation that I'm really good at this. I just love what I do. It just flows. So I've never, like, I don't know, the imposter syndrome people always talk about. I never like compared myself to other people. Like I don't know. That has never happened to me, because like, when you find your gift, like you don't really question that. You just know you can do
Mm.
it, because you can see by the reaction
Mm.
of your client that they're happy and stuff. So I think like what I'm like a little bit more worried is more the taxes, because then that's more supplement, because taxes, like, it's not based on a gift, like it's based on law. You have to understand the tax law. So that's totally different from gift. You can't have a gift on like tax law. So that's like something you have to study for. So that's more like what maybe more my fear about, maybe nervousness of like, am I doing this right? So you have to really do the
Mhm.
research and make sure you're doing it right. So that's where my only payment, not payment, my only hesitancy, doubts are coming from the tax part. But
Mm.
but for my coaching, financial coaching, no, I've never had any doubts at all. I never felt I wasn't good enough. I think that the time when I start being nervous is that when I feel like I might have a negative month, maybe half of the month, like, okay, then I'm like, okay, I don't have enough clients yet. Then I usually start to worry more about getting more clients. So I start to doubt,
Mm.
okay, are there more people coming in? So I just kind of double my effort, like, double my marketing, double my outbound on LinkedIn, or set a marketing newsletter or something like that. So that's more, so that's more like trying to bring in, and I just have to remind myself, yeah, if I don't put the effort, then I won't eat, then I won't have the money. So it's like you eat as much as you put your effort out there.
Oh,
That's
that's
great.
funny. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, definitely for um whenever you think you just weren't good enough. I don't think thinking you weren't good enough. I just think it's just if you feel overwhelmed, I think that's when that will kind of pop in somebody's head, and when that happens, you just have to take a step back and just look at everything and just isolate each. Okay, well, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, and just really take tally of what is the most important one, and you just knock it down one by one, just like Christine was saying, earlier, just having the mindset, and basically if you're scared of money, why are you scared of money? Why do you feel that way? So again, maybe your relationship with money is like, well, I'm not good enough for money. Who knows? So it ties in with that, I think. And Adam, so where can we find you on the web?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Adan Cepeda. That's AdanZepeda. And you can find my no postings on Instagram at adanz.designs with an S at the end. What about you, Terry?
LinkedIn too?
Yeah, I'm just not a heavy content creator, I guess. So I gotta up my game. Yeah.
Not yet.
Well, if you're you're posting on Twitter, you can post on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I just it automatically posts the episodes on Twitter, and so I have to make a new one for Instagram. I guess I just got to do it. I don't do it.
Explore LinkedIn more.
Oh yeah. That's true too. Oh, actually, it does. I do. We do post on LinkedIn as well for the podcast.
I do see Terry's post. That's how I remember. I said, "Oh, he had a podcast. Cool."
There you go.
Yeah, that's funny.
So it makes a difference. People do look at the posts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Terry. Where can we find you on the internet?
Yeah, well, you can definitely find me on Twitter. My handle name is Flaxenink, FLAXENINK. You can find me on Insta. It's flaxenink.designs. You can find me on TikTok, which is Flaxenink, and you can definitely find me on LinkedIn just by typing in my name. And Christine, number one, where can we find you on social media? But before you tell us that, please, if you have anything new going on, now would be a great time to have like a shameless plug of any news if you want to share.
Yeah. So there's not much right now. So except if you still haven't finished your tax return for 2019, only for individual. I don't do corporate or partnership or anything like that. But if you're a sole proprietor, it's Schedule C, going to personal 1040, I can do your tax return. So I'm an IRS Enrolled Agent. So I can do anyone's return in the entire country. So you can be any state. You can just come to me, and then I do everything remote, virtually. I don't even do face-to-face. Everything's done virtually through the comfort of your home. And then so you can find me on the web, www.Teh Financial Coaching, my last name, TEH, financialcoaching.com. And I'm always on LinkedIn. So that's my main social media platform. You can find me, Christine Teh, and then just connect or follow me, and then follow my hashtag there. I'm also on Instagram, but I usually just repurpose my LinkedIn to my Instagram, but I'm not I don't have a very good presence on Instagram, but I am there. It's also, my account is Teh Financial Coaching, same thing. I'm not on Twitter. I mean, I do have an account. It just automatically posts to Twitter, but I'm never really there, so I don't understand Twitter. But I'm also on Facebook. You can also find Teh Financial Coaching.
Yeah, you're everywhere.
I have to be.
Yeah. True.
Yep.
All right. So I guess that's it for us this week.
Yeah. Well, again, Christine, thank you so much for being on our podcast and definitely educating us on financial, for being a designer, and let's get our taxes done, everybody. So aloha.
Thank you
bye,
so
everybody.
much. Thank you for letting me be here.